Hello and good morning. Thanks for joining us on Dawn Train. It's a beautiful Thursday morning, the 17th of April 2025. And this is the weekend for Easter. Yeah, Easter is here again. Holiday. The children are already at home holidaying. And tomorrow is Good Friday. And I'm sure that you are. I know times are hard, shall but anyhow, we must celebrate. It's Easter. It's the that time of the season of the year where we gather to say happy Easter. So reach out to someone, send something to someone, even just a phone call. Show some love to someone because we're celebrating the very, very dead. That if he had not died, I'm not sure we'll be here. My name is Beauty Benjamin, and together this morning, as usual, is my dear. I like to call her name because she gives me credit for proper pronunciation of her name. I'm talking about, good morning and thanks for joining us. This is me talking with Helen, Eric, Jeremy.
I think it's high time you started giving me, paying me for it, because you are writing these exams over and over again, and then you're just scoring it. So
No.
I think you should pay me. You should pay me. So many. Of course, you should do, because not everybody is able to go through that name and then score it. And you've done it 1, 2, 3, and I think you should score. You should try to pay me now.
That
What
means
is that?
I'm taking my studies well.
So
I'm doing a good job, so you should be the one to pay me.
No, you're doing a good job. Who is pulling you through? Who?
Excuse you.
I
rehearse it.
Who is calling you?
I'm intentional.
You should pay your fees, my friend. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Anyway,
in everyone.
I think you should be in a better position to judge this now. I did proper rehearsal so that I can pronounce the name well. She ought to pay me. No, she's still owing me. She remember that debt.
School fees. Is it the student that pays the school fees, or is the teacher that pays the school fees?
It's good to have you there.
Good morning. You're looking beautiful.
Just like you. Your hair is beautiful.
Thank you. We're trying to be real and be who you are. Enough of the imitations, enough of the copycats, enough of being what you're not. So we're trying to be ourselves. We've had enough of everything artificial. Once in a while, just be yourself. Don't go overboard every time you're.
Well, my hair is natural.
The same. We're in the same.
It's my hair.
We're in the same boat.
Yeah.
You and I.
Okay.
Yes. That's why I said you're looking beautiful.
Thank you.
Because it takes a lot to maintain it.
Yeah, of course I know.
It takes a lot to maintain it and ensure that you're always on point. I think let's just go through the papers.
Okay. Yeah, welcome to the segment where we talk about papers. Let's see what's in the papers. A lot of stories are here today, but the first to start with is the Punch paper. The Punch. Now we have the bold headlines. I like to see this one now. 800 naira per liter petrol in sight as oil prices fall. Now PMS drops again as Dangote cuts ex-depot rate to 835 naira per liter. Crude now $65 per barrel from $75. We find that story on page 29 of the Punch, on page 20 of the Punch paper. Okay, let's get to the top first. Now we see a EFCC SEC move to dismantle Ponzi schemes. We'll talk about that story if we have time today. It's been a huge one at Ibadan. Ponzi people are still into it. Okay, Tinubu's France retreat sparks backlash amid rising insecurity. We find a story on page 2. And then Plateau killing. Police arrest key suspects. Government bans night grazing. That's Plateau. Then we have here Northern Grow governors in joint push against resurgent attacks. Stories on page 2. Okay, still on the Punch here. Okay.
Okay, still on the punch with newspaper, we look at what happened in River State this week. River State sole administrator is taking orders from Wiki. Emergency rule, Rivers women protest again. Reps panel summons Ibas. And you see all the women right there clothed in red attire protesting against the River State Sole Administrator. Down below we have the 2027 coalition to receive Tinubu gaining ground, says Atiku. Hundreds of Boko Haram suspects arrested in Lagos, says CJTF. And finally, Nigeria courts pass flight to Niger Republic. All those you can find on the Punch newspaper this morning.
Okay, let's move on to our next paper. The Nation. Okay, let's take The Nation.
As The Nation comes this morning with the bold headline, it says Plateau bans night grazing, restores vigilante patrols in move to end killings. Masari, I Makura, Adamu, others will remain with Tinubu as CPC bloc won't quit APC, and that comes behind the rumored planned defection of key members of the Congress for Progressive Change, that is the CPC bloc in the All Progressives Congress. APC was laid to rest yesterday. They all say they are behind Tinubu.
Okay. Above here we have why NBA should refund 300 million to Rivers by Bawo Adeborua. That's the 300 million for the conference. We also have inside CBEX 1.3 trillion Ponzi scam. Find a story on page.
As EFCC steps in, I think
enough
of all these Ponzi schemes there and
we'll talk about that now. Let's quickly look at that. Dangote cuts petrol pump price to 890 naira. Presidency gives NPC 3 week to deadline on census report. Find out also on page 6.
Okay. PDP governors can't stop coalition train, says Atiku. So Atiku is dependent on the coalition. We align ourselves fully with the economic and governance references being undertaken by President Tinubu. All that we can find.
Okay, let's move on to the Guardian. On the Guardian paper this morning, we have insecurity, national head count. Okay, insecurity, economic concerns, trade Tinubu's push for fresh census. Final story on page 6. Above here we have a suspend France trip to address insecurity. Obi tells Tinubu. Also on the top here we have FG, World Bank in fresh $17 billion poverty reduction deal. Story is on page 3. We have Dangote crashes petrol price by 13 naira litre, refines 3.5 billion liters in 7 months. That's a whole lot.
Yeah, that's a whole lot.
Okay, I have something here on the census. We have population at last count 2006 we had 140 million. Our current estimated population 236.52 million. Okay, that's about 96.5 million more persons since 2006. Per capita income $835. So we are having a population growth ratio 2.52%. GDP growth rate 3.4%. Then we have life expectancy 54.6. We have literacy rate 62%. Oh, we are doing well when it comes to education. Okay, go on.
Okay, we find down below we have fresh killings in Benue community claims 10. Lagos to replace over 4 million generators with rooftop solar. You know, solar is gaining grounds. Lookman alleges PDP governors aiding Tinubu as Atiku intensifies coalition agenda. And besides that, we have reps summon sole administrator of Rivers women demand end to emergency rule. FG launches plan, approves 5 billion naira to curb flood disasters. And finally, don't lose faith in democracy. INEC chairman tells African youth. I think this calls for discussion. You're telling us we shouldn't lose faith. Then let's know what you have on the table.
Okay, let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. There must be something. Nigerian Tribune, here we have crack in Buhari's CPC. El Makura, Masaria, Musa, 20 others denounced the faction, pledged loyalty to Tinubu, demand open administration from Ganduje. Atiku to PDP governors, coalition train has left the station. That story is on page 2 and page 5. Moving on to the top part of the Nigerian Tribune, we have 15 million Nigerians at high risk of floods in 2025. Shetima story is on page 4. We also have the UK Supreme Court rules woman means biological female. UK Supreme Court rules woman means biological female. Brings clarity to long-time legal ambiguity. Atiku Obi blast Tinubu over France stay amid killings in Nigeria. Story is on page 11. Okay, go on.
Okay, thank you there. We have a Dangote refinery slashes special prices to 835 naira per liter, and that is on page 6. Tribune reporter wins a maritime award. Wow, congratulations to him. Reps invites Rivers administrator to appear today, page 13. Fubara has not reached out to me to be forgiven. Wike replies, it's on Polo page 2. Okay. And then we have the picture of Deleke Makinde and
excuse me,
Emmanuel Odom there. Mufwang bans night grazing, transportation of cattle by vehicles. Terrorists behind Plateau attack are connected to global networks. Ex-diplomat is saying so. Killings in Plateau unacceptable. Northern elders. NGF calls for peace. You can find that on page 13.
Okay, Odi, let's move on to the Daily Times.
The Daily Times has very bold headlines that says Tinubu tax experts on roadmap for first digital census in 18 years. Wow. And above that, we have court voids Obasa's removal as Speaker declares action unconstitutional. Find that on page 12.
Okay, moving down to the Daily Times here. At the bottom, we have TSA reps other financial tech firm Remita to refund over 182 billion naira to federal government. We have Nigerian, a wounded bleeding nation, Kiakama. Okay, that story is on page 7. We have a constitute special commissions of inquiry. Page 5, we have NLPCL's activities under carry. Coalition urges Tinubu. Stay on the page 5 now. Okay, Odi, let's take it to the Vanguard, which is the last paper this morning. Let's take it to Vanguard now. And then we have the bold headlines on Vanguard now. Insecurity worsens. Herdsmen kill 144 in Plateau, Benue in 14 days. Stories on page 5. And above here we have Rivers. Reps invite sole administrator Ibas. Stories on page 7. We have Cibex. Aggrieved investors storm Lagos office, break into premises. Find that on page 6. And then we have 2027. PDP governors. Articles coalition differ over fronting for Tinubu. Buhari's men pass vote of confidence on president. Story is on page 26. We have Dangote reduces petrol price further by 3.5% to 835 naira per liter. That story is on page 19.
Okay, brothers, women protest. We have the pictures all over there. We are gauged. We are caged. With all that. That's all that is on their placard there. Okay, and Nigeria-China currencies for the tool for trade efficiency. CBN is saying so. Power ministers blames past governments for poor electricity supply. And then on sports, 32 Senator Adeyemi urges Tinubu to immortalize Chukwu. You can find that on page 32. And then we have the Mr. and Mrs. where beauty specializes.
Yeah. Let me tell you the honor. And so, Mr. says, if you have to choose between love and a piece of diamond, you will choose diamond. I don't believe this is coming from you. Okay, so if you have the choice to choose between love and a piece of diamond, you will choose diamond. I don't believe this is coming from you. And Mrs. says, don't blame me, dear. Love is blind, but diamonds are forever. Oh my God. That's so touching. Love, they say, is blind, but diamonds are forever. So it's not forever. Okay, if you know what that means. That was all for papers this morning. Thanks for staying with us. Let's take a quick break, and when we return, let's do some discussion on what is, well, I don't know what interests me. It may not interest you, but let's get to talk about this Ponzi game. It's been on for years, and it seems that people don't learn. They don't learn. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about that. Stay tuned. Hello, you're welcome back to Doctrine. If you're just tuning in, thanks for joining us. Let's get to the conversation now. For over 9 years, or more than 9 years now, Nigerians have lived on Ponzi, quick money. Now, we're trying to, and there's something I want to bring out now. One of the, how to identify, yesterday we had to say desperate Nigerians lose over 1.7 trillion the naira to Ponzi schemes in 9 years. Now, I had something. Now, if you are there, I don't know how to identify this quick money. Now, let me just give you 5 spots to identify before we go into the conversation. 1, high returns with no risk. Guaranteed return on investments. Unknown owners and corporate offices. Now, pressure to reinvest and recruit new investors. Unregistered and unregulated. When you see these 5 signs, high returns with no risk, pressure to reinvest and recruit new investors, guaranteed return on investments, unknown owners and corporate offices, and unregistered and unregulated. In Ibadan, over the weekend, it broke out. There is this one they call CBEX. It's been trending. They've been making money. They cash out according to them. And suddenly, the Chinese people disappeared. And this particular one that caught my attention, that TVC picked up, she didn't know how to cry. Now, she had invested $1,000, then collected from the Pharaoh, her friends and neighbors, $2,000 had invested. Now she's like, it's just as good as I'm just dead. Because how am I going to pay back the one I borrowed and others? Now we now see a scenario where people bashed into the office in Ibadan, broke into the office. Nobody was there, of course, and we are looting out properties, electronics, tables, and all that, and they are moved down to the office in Lagos. My question is, over the years, we've had MNM, we have MIN, we have NNN, we have Bitcoin One, we have Crowd, we have Cloud, we've had so many. Are we not learn enough? How do you intend to put some money into somewhere you're not trading with it? That maybe you buy something, you trade, you get return, you get top up on it, and then they're telling you bring somebody, and they are giving you huge return. I was thinking that after MMM and even the MBA Forex, by now people would have learned, but someone investing had, we're talking about $1.7 trillion lost. My sister, talk as it in your mind. Where are we? When do we want to sit down and do legitimate legal business? Because if you have 100,000 and you go and buy granules, and you probably fry. Oh, sorry. Okay.
When I heard this news of this service, I was just like,
not again.
Yes. Yes. You know, but one thing is this. If you haven't fallen prey, you won't know how it feels.
So you saying that all of these people have not fallen prey of these other ones?
One thing is to fall prey, the other thing is to learn a lesson.
Exactly.
A lesson from there. Someone like me, they should come and convince me. Come and convince me. You know when NBA and Baraza,
helping hands, helping leg, cloud,
I know how many millions went down the drain. And then I asked myself, I said, I had the opportunity of establishing a business, investing in my personal business. And I said, okay, if I would just, let me do this. So I did some calculations, mental calculations. I said, okay, let me just do this. And then it worked. But I don't think I will. There will be a repeat. There won't be a repeat of such. Now, so many persons, they say life is all about risk.
Of course.
But the question I keep asking is it this kind of risk?
Is this worth it?
Is it worth it?
You're not seeing the people. You're not seeing who you're transacting with.
An office. You know, it took me a long while before I started, patronizing OPay, Money Point. It took me a long while because where is the office? I'm yet to recover. You know what it means? Like this person that went borrowing money from others just to invest. When she's out, she will never. It will take her a long while.
How is she going to pay back? Now let's assume
that
that
means she just except it's God's intervention, you know, for the people to say, okay, don't worry. Something is sure. One thing very sure. Greed. And
you think it's greed or it's lack of job?
No, it's not lack of job. As when I got involved with Baraza, I had a job. So it's not lack of job. Is
quest for quick money.
For quick money. Okay. And then, you know, just like you said, so many people, we look at it that times are hard. Times are not really hard. The Bible says,
quick money from somewhere will not help. We can do a lot.
The Bible says, be content. If you are content with what you have, though the challenges are staring you at the face, but that's why it says cast all your cares. You just say, God, I believe you, to help me. And then you sit down and say, okay, Holy Spirit, what do I do? You will, somehow you see that one day at a time, all the challenges will be. But by the time you carry all the world on your head,
I want to achieve them today.
Oh my God. That is what leads men to it. I'm telling you because I've been a victim. That's why I can talk like this. So that is what the problem is with us. We know that the nation is not helping us.
Okay, now, so what do you think the government should do now? Because from what I read out here now, I said the 5 points I gave out, the one that is of interest, I say unregistered and unregulated. So what do you think the government should do in a case like this?
Let the necessary bodies start working.
The financial bodies take
Let them start working. Let them start working. So many persons are earning salaries and they don't go to work. Even the ones that go, they don't do the necessary work. The government cannot be paying you and then you just say, I'm working here and you're not doing anything. Look at the other times, I'm sorry to digress, we hear of a building collapse because nobody's working.
No, not because somebody is working. I think what they do is it still boils down to greed and money, because
they
when
are not
you
working
lay
when you
that
work.
foundation,
When you work, when you do the right thing. Let me tell you something. My husband said something to me. He said, "Do I know Dave Man, our minister for works?" I said, "Yes." He said, "That man, if he gives you a contract, and then he comes to inspect what you've done. If you miss one, if you do not do it accurately, he will not pay you. Take him to anywhere, he will not pay you."
Exactly.
How many of such persons do we have? You want to lay a foundation, you want to site a property here, and then the necessary authorities come down. What you do, just pat their backs and they will go leave you to do whatever you want. Are they working? That is not work. That is not work. So let them start working. See, corruption, this nation is better than, I don't believe there's any nation that's better than Nigeria, because we have it all here. The only challenge we have in this nation is that we are not working. Fine, we shouldn't blame all our leaders, put all the blames on their head. You and I will have our parts to play.
Of course.
It just rained a few days ago. I saw them. My daughter said, "Mommy, why are they trashing their debts into the drainage?" I said, "Hey, child, look at it." That is it. Is it the government?
Of course not.
So you and I have a law.
And they forget that. I've talked about it on several occasions now. That death you're trashing in the drains, they will return back to you, because they will get blocked. And then when the rain comes,
whose house will be flooded?
It will be flooded. Not
Whose
the government.
house will be
Not the
flooded?
government. It's your own house.
It is you. It is you. And when there is when the drainages are blocked, who will suffer from malaria? Is it the government?
It's we.
Isn't it? You come out in the morning, everywhere is smell. Is it the government?
The citizens.
Who falls sick and spend money in the hospital? Is it the government?
The citizens.
So what are we blaming the government
for? The government
have
provided you a drain, and they say don't trash your debt in the drain. But people will sweep from their house straight inside.
It's all the yama just waiting for it to rain and then they pour it
now
inside.
Back to the Ponzi. Because I don't see a reason why, if some government officials are not part of this Ponzi, how foreigners will come into our country and operate a business with this kind of capital and the government don't know about it.
Parting of bags.
Oh,
the parting of bags. The parting of bags. Oh, let me just have your okay, I will do you a mail. I see. Please, I will send you. I want my cousin came back from outside, and then he wanted to establish open up 1 or 2 businesses. kept going to the NAFDAC, for approval. It was too
strenuous
for him. At some point he just told that. So I kept asking, I said, bro, this was what you know what he told me? He said, sister, this our nation called Nigeria, it will take God for this nation to be good. I said, what are you talking about? He said, do you know what someone told me? He said, you are becoming too religious with all this. Just go import expired one, we package it and label it. And he said, what? You cannot do that. As I'm talking to you, he did not continue with that business.
It's not off the track, it's not off the record, they do it. People do it, even the pharmaceuticals, they do it. The drugs are expired, they repackage it, and then they put it back on the decks to sell. They put it back, so as a consumer, we are the one at risk. So
you see, the pattern of bags is something else.
But my cry this morning is, if you're listening, if you're watching, you that is out there, that you have labored for that your small money, instead of you putting that money into one abracadabra, now have you sat down to think, if I give Ellen 5,000 and in 2 weeks she's paying me back 20,000,
what am I doing?
What did I do that will give you? Which bank? How much your bank even give you for when you fix your money in a month?
How much profit did I make from that 5,000? What did I do with that 5,000 naira? So give me.
I don't want to hear. Don't even just sit down there in your house there and tell me there's no job, there's no business. Don't even say that.
There are a lot of petty things to do.
Because that's your money. You could have used that money to go and get bags of pure water, get ice block, chill it. If you're selling that pure water now, because you have chilled it, because you have bought it for
250
whatever,
naira.
You say, look, I bought ice block. I bought ice block. I'm selling it for 250 naira. You're
250 naira.
There's some people that will buy because they want the water cold.
250 naira.
Want it cold.
And then let me tell you another thing. People underrate it. You know body spray. They sell all these small bottles. Depends on the fragrance and all that, under the longevity of the body spray. Some sell 1,000. Some sell 800. You can imagine 5,000 naira, and then your table is set. What about cooking of food? Sister, as we come out early in the morning, don't you see vendors on the street?
Of course.
Everywhere. And people are buying.
That's why I went as little as I say granules. Do you know how much a bottle of granule costs today?
You and I, we are aware of a lady that sells granule. She brings it to the and everybody buys. At the end of the day, she goes back home with at least her transport.
I have a small daughter who left her place of job because of certain issues that the owner of the place mistreated and she maltreats the people who works for her and all that. They had some issues and she left. And she bought POS and started doing POS because she said she doesn't want to stay idle and doesn't want to soil or dirty herself. She bought POS and then she did POS for a few days and she went to buy granules and started. She called me. Today is Thursday, right? She called me on Tuesday. I said, Mom, if I tell you, you won't believe it. I said, what's that? Spill it. She said, I have made 13,000 naira on granules. She puts it together, she takes it out of POS and enter the streets to go and sell them. Every day she's buying and selling. So she doesn't want to stay idle and all that. And so a whole lot is going on. Okay, I think we have a scene. Let's go on a quick break now. We'll return. Just stay tuned.
Naira she saved was poured into CBEX. Now it's all gone.
Yes, I go to Libya to work. No work, fighting. See my hand. Fighting, everything. Everything for Libya. I come back. My neighbor told me if the program is on stand now, on ground now, if you do it, you go help me. Then I should go and find the money. small money I bring from Libya, I join am. Yeah, I should do it. I don't want to do it. Yeah, if the money is there, the labor, they collect the money. I see the money.
As some say, poverty pushed people into the arms of fraudsters. Others believe it was the promise of instant wealth and the illusion that it could happen overnight that blinded many to the risk.
Why should you invest your money in something that is not realistic? So now I would advise the society, please, and God, please be reasonable enough.
The CBEX saga is a sad reminder of the danger lurking in unregulated digital spaces and how economic desperation makes people more vulnerable. It also reignites a crucial conversation: the urgent need for financial education, stronger regulation, and more public awareness to protect Nigerians from falling victim to such schemes in future. Oladio Yewole, TVC News, Ibadan.
As you can see, that is the site on Sunday. That was the CBEX Ponzi. That's the woman I talked about earlier. That's the office. You can see. Now tell me, what can you take out from here if you had invested? That's the name, Centime Corporation. What kind of name is that? Registered under what? Under where? Is it a registered company that they are operating in? Are you regulated? Are you licensed?
Collaboration with Nigerians, because these foreigners, they haven't left Nigeria. They are
so all of these people who have carted out things now may not even be investors. These are just criminals who just saw opportunity to loot things. But the people who invested, what can you take out from here that can recover your money back to you? When are we going to grow and learn? Like the prodigal son did. He came to a realization point and returned back to his father.
And be disciplined.
When can we be disciplined and forget about all this quick money?
The disadvantages of these financial, these Ponzi schemes.
There is dignity in labor.
Is much. There is financial loss. We have illegality. Ponzi, they are not legal.
What is our financial institution? What are they doing?
There is these people. The lack of transparency is there.
Because the next day, tomorrow now, or next month now, another one will come up again, and these same people will go back investing again.
We will go back there and then be patronized. Because
tell me how this particular one is going to recover. How's it going to be? Trauma, the debts. What are we going to learn? These people just come here and they play with us.
That is exactly where I'm headed for.
Even if we have bad government, but we ourselves, have we told ourselves that, look, we want to do things right?
See, let me tell you something. The bad governance is not the reason why we behave the way we do.
Not at all.
It's not.
We are greedy. We just want quick money.
We just want it now. That is it. Because we carry all our problems on our head.
Because we always look for opportunities to say government.
Yes,
even if your child that is rotten at home, you say it's government.
Why you can send that child to
we now have parents now who are buying Android phones for their children to go into Yahoo. You say it's government.
And even telling them, I will pay the fee for you to be trained. And then they go ahead.
You say I pay the fee. You say I pay. They buy the Android phones for the children and say start work.
They give them fuel. You can't start work without learning what
I told you of a woman who left Asaba. I came to Port Harcourt here last week to take her son who was living with someone in Port Harcourt. That boy was taken when he was 5 years. And the boy that was 11 years. He was in school. The mother left Asaba, came to Port Harcourt here last week to take her son back to Asaba to go and do Yahoo business. 11 years.
He's taking that child.
He say his mates are cashing out.
To go register in the school. They have a school in Delta and
I think I went overboard this morning because I'm kind of this story it's
Just take it easy. I wish we could learn.
okay.
Learn to be contented, learn to depend on God to help solve our personal need, because you cannot do it all yourself. So let's just learn, because spending money like this, look, just look at that woman. Baby comes now and then we say the devil. This is not the devil. Please.
Okay, thank you so much. That's how far we can go on the segment of the program. Same time, same station tomorrow. If you're out there, you may want to think twice before you invest your money. If you're a mother out there, you are a role model. You are a role model. Stand in that gap and do the needful. Now you have to enjoy it. Tomorrow is been declared public holiday. Friday and Monday public holiday for the Easter celebration. Take advantage of that holiday and do something nice. Think of a business you can do. There's dignity in labor. Thanks for joining us. I am Beauty Benjamin. Stay tuned.
And I'm Helen Eric Germany. Enjoy your day.